Dort in-game.
junglers who are very fast clearers, like
Ja, wir sind
Shyvana,
gerade noch
like
beim
Mundo,
Picken.
it allows you to, give the blue buff that much easier.
Ja,
You
wir
don't have
sind
to
jetzt
worry
seit
so
5
much
Minuten
about
in-game. Das
invasion
heißt, das erste
because
Spiel
you know you
verpasse
can
ich
take
wohl.
it extremely quickly. And so,
Naja,
it does
egal.
allow that matchup. But
Ja, das
Karthus,
Blöde ist,
for
wenn's blöd läuft,
Voyboy,
ist nur
actually,
ein Spiel.
that's kind of interesting because
Echt?
Karthus and Kog
Ja,
are
ja.
both hyper carries. And as they,
Also ich
get
glaube,
further and further into
Dignitas
the
kriegt schon
game,
einen
we have
Punkt, weil die
the
kommen
AoE
aus dem
from Karthus, and then we
Wundersbracket.
have Kog with the follow-up,
Also,
going to be cleaning
weiß
up
ich.
those fights. So it's definitely
Ob
going
das-
to be key for CLG
Die schon
to
mit
kind
einem
of,
Punkt anfangen oder
take an
nicht?
advantage
Keine
early,
Ahnung.
depending on their next two
Was da
picks.
unten
And we've
ist.
also seen a
Oliver.
lot
Ja,
of
hab ich schon
dual
gesehen.
spot lane. People barely getting
Right.
away from the Kog'Maw artillery shot. And it's just like, oh, I wish I had a Karthus ult. I wish I had a Karthus ult. But there it is. And you know what? The CLG banned out Soraka. So they can't even pick it for themselves to try and counteract some of that global damage with the Wish.
Yeah, and the aggressive support with Taric, Janna doesn't have the heal in lane, so we will see a lot of aggression with Kog's harass,
Das
with
war
the Taric
blöd.
stun, and actually we see
Einfach nur
Hotshot
blöd,
going with Cho'Gath. He has been played one time this tournament. They actually won the game the one time that Cho'Gath was played, and I don't know, it should be interesting to see how this works with this team comp. We definitely have lots of upfront disables with Anivia, with Cho'Gath to protect Double Lift as his, favorite champion, Vayne.
Not to mention, so we got Vayne, Janna, wonderful. Oh, wait.
Wow. So
I'm not sure if we're being trolled. I'm not sure if we're being trolled yet. We'll have to check.
But I could definitely see this pick. We'll have to see whether or not Voyboy
Dignitas sind
feels
erstmal
that
Fiora top
Fiora
anscheinend.
is enough of a carry, but
Oh, lol.
against Cho'Gath,
Gegen
Cho'Gath was always
Cho'Gath.
kind of known for his lane sustain. He gets
Ja,
kind
das
of
dürfte auch eine
effective harass,
Fiora
but I would
ziemlich
think
das
that Fiora would be able to turn that into
carryen
free
können,
farm lane.
theoretisch.
And so free farm Fiora
Ja.
is definitely a threat late
Aber
game,
mit dem Hinjumpen,
particularly
wenn sie
when you
gut
have
ist,
someone
dann
like
weicht sie
Vayne.
halt im
Fiora
Scheiß
can
um
act as that assassin
Sugar
champion,
einfach gut
but
aus.
Jax,
Ooh.
actually
Also
even
ungepickt auf
better.
Jax.
Jax can definitely farm against Cho'Gath. Will be a serious threat as the game continues.
Jax
Now
sehe
we
ich
have
aber nicht so
3
stark.
hyper carries for Dignitas, Karthus,
Mal gucken.
Kog'Maw, and Jax is definitely going to be extremely tanky as well with the changes to him.
And I believe it's going to be his second appearance this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, and he did win. It was actually a jungle Jax. I can't remember the team, but that was a win curse.
It was curse.
So yeah, it should be definitely interesting. We have a lot of burst damage, with double lift. But at the same time, Taric is just such a strong laner. Kog'Maw has enough range, has enough damage that's going to be a really difficult lane for CLG. They're going to want to
Der auf
der
basically
Botlane
turn that
Double
into a-
Heal,
try and turn that into a free
Ding.
farm lane. And then top lane, we do see Voyboy taking the teleport to counter
Kog'Maw
out
und- Double
Hotshot's
Heal.
teleport.
Ja, guck
That's
mal,
kind of
Taric
expected when you're
und
running
Summoner
Cho'Gath that you'll
Double
look for
Heal
that early game
irgendwie.
advantage. So
Ja.
with the Karthus ultimate and with the teleport,
Na gut, aber
from
das
Jax,
kann auch
we're
nerven.
definitely going to see a lot of aggression bottom centered around Dragon. See if we can get that going.
And we've seen a lot of play also from Dignitas. Mundo has been pretty important for a lot of teams throughout this entire weekend. He's right out in front, being the damage soak, allowing the rest of his team to get all the shots they need. And you know what? He's going to be a wonderful shield for Karthus, for Kog'Maw to get in all the layways, to get in all the artillery shots that they need to take these team fights.
And now here's the thing, we were talking about that top lane, Voyboy taking Ghost instead of Flash. So with his survivability, Cho'Gath has a lot of burst damage, but it's going to be difficult for him to hit that range.
meine
Jax is
Fresse,
going to
ey.
be, very safe in
Ja,
that
der ist
lane,
auch so
generally speaking.
scheiße.
Shyvana can come up, chunk him a little bit, but we've seen, Voyboy juking, jumping to creeps. That's what we're going to see. He should be pretty safe in
Gutes
the lane.
Team.
And if Voyboy can get through those levels, get through that
Ja.
farm without, giving up any kills, then that's really going to be their favor. It's aggressive for CLG to kind of try and shut down Voyboy.
But, Jax's
What?
Leap Strike works very similar to Lee Sin's shield. Right to a minion, right to a ward, great escape mechanism, but running the Ghost, you have one less way to get away from those sticky situations, but you can also use that offensively. Once he gets 6, once he gets his passive, he can go ahead every 4th attack, just every time and just pursue if he needs that last bit of damage.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to have a significant amount of damage. With the Karthus ult, it'll be interesting to see what kind of aggression we see from Dignitas. Once Karthus is level 6, it does kind of clear up fights for you very effectively. We do see a clairvoyance on Chouster currently, so that is going to protect against
Können sie mir da unten recht
aggression
gut
from
gangen.
Mundo. Doesn't want
Alles
to
klar,
get
komm
an early
runter.
jungle advantage. If either of the junglers get any early kills,
Oh, die
very
haben eine
quickly
Vision
junglers
Ward
kind of
im River.
snowball. So that'll be something interesting to watch out for. But mid, Anivia's egg against Karthus.
Sound
Karthus has
muted.
the spam ability and the sustained damage. If they can egg Anivia, then Karthus can definitely kill her in the egg. And that's one of the issues. A lot of AP mid champions have nice burst, but they don't have the ability to take down Anivia's egg. Karthus does.
Also, we have to mention the great Cassiopeia play we saw the other day as well. Just that poison. I've never seen that before. It was so crazy yesterday. If you haven't watched it, do please when we're done with the day. But for now, we are loading on up into the game. Losers Finals, Dignitas CLG. We got the rematch. You guys ready? Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at these teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be an intense match. It was, very close down to the wire last time. CLG playing at such a high level this tournament. CLG, Dignitas, and TSM all bringing out all the stops. TSM and, CLG having their ups and downs, but CLG coming from that Korean scene. Should be interesting to watch them in that tournament as well, but, definitely on top of their game right now. Anivia, a really aggressive champion, has just such great lane control. Anivia definitely has a lot of burst potential against Karthus, so Scar's going to want to have to watch out for that. And I think generally speaking, though, that lane's going to be kind of a free farm lane. They will both be very safe with farming. Karthus does have a range advantage, but I don't think until either of them get blue that we'll see too much aggressive pushing, which will maybe put them out of position.
And both champs in mid benefit greatly from having blue buff. And we may see some invasions to try and snag that early, but for now we are into the game. Blue corner, if you guys want to see CLG win this one, let me hear ya. And top corner, our returning champions from IPL4. If you want to see Dignitas take it all, let me hear ya. CLG wandering on up top river. Dignitas scattering just a little bit. We got a nice little point defense kind of, and pings going down around the red area, and CLG gathering up here in this top river bush.
Yeah, and already we see that both teams are expecting, wanting to take map control early. We see Janna warding their own red because they're planning the invade over on Mundo, so that it doesn't allow Mundo to come in. They will be aware of where Mundo is at any given point in time. But Tarek, on the other hand, Lucas picking up that early pink ward and then 4 wards. So they will have a lot of safety in bottom lane, but the pink ward will allow them to take brush control against Janna and Vayne. And because of the advantage that Tarek has as that aggressive support, and Kog'Maw with that range advantage, coupled with the heal from Tarek, they will be able to use the bushes to their advantage and try and control that bottom lane.
Dignitas has a bunch of pings going in around the red. They have an idea. They know they haven't seen CLG down bot trying to go for the blue, so they have a sneaking suspicion they may be around the red, and you know what? They are correct.
Yeah, but you see Dignitas expecting the invade, so Kog'Maw holding up in the river, Scar was holding up mid, so they would see where CLG is coming, and just expecting that red's going to be gone, so we will see them come up. I'm pretty sure they're going to be giving Dominate his blue, just so that he can continue jungling at a fast speed, and yes, he is going to take it.
Now we do also see, both of these junglers not very mana dependent. I mean, if they so choose, they could decide to pass it off to their mids. But Mundo does benefit from a little bit extra cooldown. You have the cleavers. Once he gets it, he does have the masochism as well, so a little bit extra damage output from him when he goes in for those ganks.
And it's also the fact that they suspected or
Saint
probably
Vicious
knew, actually we see Saint Vicious coming in. There's going to be a lot of damage with that red buff. The stun not going to hit, but we do have Scar's flash down. But we will see, because they recognized that CLG was going to counter jungle them early, they wanted to be able to get Mundo his level so he can, continue up at the same speed as Saint Vicious.
Doublelift got caught a little bit by Locust, got the stun from behind through the Tribush, but Dignitas going to back up. They got the damage they wanted, so they're going to go ahead and play it safe just a little bit. Voyboy and Hotshot, we keep saying the top lane is going to be the lane to watch. Both teams very concerned about the top lane, and CLG, most of their kills coming from the top lane as well.
Yeah, and Hotshot taking that cloth armor, he knows that he needs to mitigate some of that damage. Jax is just so strong up front. We do have a lot of sustain on Shogath, but if you can prevent him from coming up to the creeps, be very aggressive early on, which is what Jax likes to do, then you can take that advantage. But we see Saint Vicious coming up here. Voyboy doesn't have anything to jump to currently, so Saint Vicious going to be able to get some nice damage. There's actually the exhaust, and then the rupture followed up, so we might see the first blood. But the stun underneath the tower, Voyboy just barely not able to pick up that kill. If he had the ignite, he would have had it.
He's hungry, he wants it, he's in pursuit. Saint Vicious, he's hiding in the bush. Voyboy, he knows he's there.
Yeah,
Hotshot
he definitely wants this kill.
Hotshot was trying to get the damage. Rupture misses, jukes it. Saint Vicious trying to get away. Boy leaps in, but Big Fat LP is here to join. He's here to help. Boy, you're now in a 3v1. Can you get away from this? Going into bush to try and juke CLG out. St. Vicious, he's in the bush. Will Boy be able to get in? The stun cannot hit Jax.
Dodging the flash frost last second. Fantastic play by Voyboy, and that's what we've seen. That really aggressive play by Voyboy, just barely making things happen, has great mechanics. But if that had been a kill, then very quickly we would see whether or not that lane falls behind. So really effective play there. He definitely needs some nice ward coverage now that he's a little bit low. Burn some of his summoners.
And while Anivia was top, this allowed Karthus to go ahead and push to tower. So Anivia lost out on a little bit of farm on that attempt. If the kill was gotten, it wouldn't mean a whole lot, but since Voyboy was able to get away, Anivia's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage. 10 creeps, 14 creeps of a disadvantage. Yeah,
that's definitely key. You want to have that aggression, you want to have that team support, but if you're leaving the lane, then you can definitely fall a little bit behind. Anivia still has a lot of control over Karthus, but Karthus has the range where he can, just free farm there. And we do see Saint is taking his red now, so he will have kind of a continuous stream of reds here. We do have a lot of burst damage from Double Lift, so we'll have to see. Actually, he's going to condemn Locust there, get some nice burst, but we'll have to see whether or not Saint comes down there. I expect not. With how survivable Tarek is, it'll be very difficult for Saint to engage in that lane.
Dominate, getting the cleaver in on Hotshot. He is exhausted. We got the fire, we got the AoE, trying to finish off Hotshot as much as we can. He's getting very low. 140, 100 health, the cleaver, and the leap strike finishes the job. Dominate, taking just enough damage for Jax to get in. First blood going to Dignitas.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge because Cho'Gath, like we said, needs to be able to sit up next to those creeps. Voyboy getting an early advantage is always key for Dignitas, whether or not he can get off to a good start. So we'll have to see where he goes with that, what kind of item builds he's doing. Right now he has some lifesteal. We'll see whether or not he's kind of going into that same old Gunblade Jax or maybe a Hex Drinker, a little bit more tankier against all this magic damage.
I mean, I do enjoy Gunblade Jax. That's the build I use. Sometimes if I need to, I'll actually go Hex Drinker, but we don't see that. I mean, we see a little bit of magic damage from CLG, Anivia being the bulk of it. We may not see, we're probably not going to be able to see that.
There are actually a lot of magic damage. Shyvana, she's a physical jungler, but all of her abilities are actually magic damage. Her Q is physical, but she does have a decent amount of magic damage. Couple that with Cho'Gath and with Anivia. But I don't know, we'll have to see. I definitely think that we might see some early dragon control from CLG. Shyvana and Mundo are actually both pretty strong at taking dragon, but with the Janna shields, with the damage from Vayne, we might see that coupled with the control that Anivia has.
Voyboy now doing what he can to push Hot Shot, and Dignitas keeping the lane even, and now Dominate is looking a little bit for his creep. So is St. Vicious. They're wandering, they're looking at where they should be going next.
Yeah, and Saint, we do have good ward coverage top lane, so, Voyboy will be pretty safe up there, but Saint actually coming in once again. Voyboy does see him, has plenty of time to get out of there. Not really the best gap closer for Shyvana. She has great movement speed, but without the hard CC, it can be kind of difficult. So you saw they really need that exhaust up for those ganks. But actually, we see Locust coming in onto Double Lift here. There's the stun, but Double Lift turning onto I'm a Cutie Pie, getting off a significant amount of damage. There's the exhaust onto Double Lift. He's actually going to cleanse it. Probably didn't need to use the cleanse, but getting a little excited, see if he could pick up that kill bottom.
And in the meantime, we got the blue going mid to Scar. He's going to be taking that back with him. He's going to have another extra bag of Skittles to go with him with those layawastes. And Big Fat wondering where he should be, just wandering around downriver, just checking it out. Voyboy still getting the harass on Hotshot top lane. He has a bit of advantage now, and he's just working as much as he can. Hotshot being pushed to tower, a little bit to harder farm, and we just do have a quick pause in a moment.
Yeah, and it should be pretty interesting to see how that lane kind of goes top. We do actually have one of the computers, should be back up shortly, but Voyboy, really aggressive with Jax, has that early advantage. It's going to be an extremely difficult lane for Hotshot. I'm kind of curious to see, when we start seeing some aggression from Dignitas. We saw Mundo coming up in that top lane, whether or not we continue to see that with Karthus, with the tankiness that Mundo and Jax have. If they have good vision of Shyvana, we might be able to see some, tower dives top. They could sit there alternating, tanking the turret, and then with Karthus, finish up that kill on Hotshot, see if they can continue to take an advantage in that top lane.
So I'm taking a look right now at Voyboy's items. We got the Vamp Scepter, and we also have the Sapphire Crystal. getting a little bit of extra mana, and I'm thinking of where he's going to be building with that. I think that might actually go into a Sheen
For
for
Jax?
Jax. Possibly Trinity Force coming in from him.
Yeah, that's it should be interesting to see where that is. Sheen definitely increases his burst damage. Since Cho is kind of going to be kiting in and out of the lane, Void can just get up in his face, have that burst. I don't know, I'd be kind of curious to see whether or not it's more of a sustain item. It'll probably be a Sheen, though. That's probably the right call.
Because you have the proc from Sheen, you have Empower, and then you Leap Strike. That is a lot of burst for someone like Jax.
Yeah, definitely. And Jax, fairly low mana pool. He has enough to spam for a while, but if he wants to constantly spam his harass out and then still be very survivable in lane, having the nice larger mana pool definitely helps him out. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. We do see Shyvana is building towards a Wriggles potentially. It might just be a Vamp Scepter to give her some lifesteal, but the Wriggles on Shyvana goes along with her role as a counter kind of jungler. It allows her to take buffs and dragon much more effectively, and could be indicative of early pressure from CLG.
So we also see the Catalyst going on to Karthus, so that's going to be going into a Rod of Ages, I assume, more than likely. Doran's Blades are starting to show up here. We got one already here on Kog'Maw. Not many Doran's items so far this game.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is the Catalyst on Karthus. Karthus wants to be that frontline tanks kind of champion, wants to survive a little bit more, be extremely aggressive, so that Kog can be safe in the back line. And because we do have a number of short-range kind of champions for CLG, that Karthus wall, once again, is going to set up the fights very nicely for Dignitas. It'll be key for CLG to see if they can pick off anyone, particularly Kog'Maw or Karthus, in these fights. And I think, I don't know, you look at Kog'Maw, one of the best thing that we've seen this weekend is that Kog'Maw doesn't have to build those fast damage items, can just go for something like a Phantom Dancer and has enough damage with his W that he can go a little bit more utility than other DPSers can and still be just as effective.
Yeah, now that I think about it, we actually, both of our AP mids, they have some pretty decent walls. So we have the Ice Wall from Anivia, we got the Wall Paint from Karthus. If you had to pick one, which one would you pick?
Well, it's kind of a difference in which how the walls are going to affect the teams. And so we do have Kog'Maw for Dignitas. If Kog'Maw gets walled off, that's it. CLG is going to win that fight unless Kog can get out of there. It does have.
Ist doch nicht meine Schuld, wenn sie reinläuft, oder?
But if Kog is walled off,
Mein
then
klar.
Das ist
Klar ist es, wenn jemand oben ist, dass man ganken will, aber trotzdem. Das ist doch so die Sache, dass da schon 3 Leute oben waren. Es waren halt schon 3 Leute oben. Und die hätten sie so oder so gekillt, oder nicht? Zu dritt mit dem Volibear, Tristana und
What the fuck, ich mach Vollbild, aber es geht nicht groß.
Philipp? Klein bist, ja.
Wollen wir gleich was essen fahren, oder hast du schon gegessen?
Then it's not going to be as effective as you would
Okay,
like.
so. Kriegen wir denn überhaupt noch was?
Very close quarters, even just a double one wall can do so much. You can get caught in a choke point like that. But Blue going to go over to Big Fat, going to be taking that back with him to mid. We see a bot backing off a little bit. CLG is going to be backing. They're going to go ahead and buy what's.
Ja, schauen wir dann.
We're going to get the tier 2 boots right there.
Auf jeden Fall weiß ich jetzt, ich brauche einen Jungler, der mit C hat. Aber nicht mehr zu den, sondern auf jeden Fall C hat.
But it's going to be a free dragon for Dignitas. They know that bot lane just had to recall, so effectively by Lucas and I'm a Cutie Pie forcing the lane to recall. Karthus is extremely fast at taking dragons. Same with Cutie Pie. We'll see whether or not they go for aggressive because they definitely have that clear speed. So that little early advantage will definitely kind of hold them off into their strong lane. We'll see whether or not CLG can respond.
Der Major kann schon,
der Kog'Maw ist down. Oh, der Kog'Maw ist so tot. Oh, ist der tot.
Oh, einfach.
Oh, ist der tot. Oh, ist der tot.
Oh, and we got the kill.
Oh, ist die Channel tot.
Here's the and Lucas finish off. We actually have Void with the teleport, able to get the double kill to finish it off for his team.
still actually had
das
a
Publikum,
summoner
das ist
heal
scheiße.
on Locust. Chose
Da waren
not
sie
to
greedy.
use it. I think we could have saved Cutie Pie there.
Warum? Die
and
wissen, die
still
haben
gotten
gewusst, dass
both
sie den
those
Kill
kills
auf jeden
with
Fall
the
safe
teleport
haben.
in.
Egal
It
ob
would
die
have
in
been
Tower
tough
gehen oder
because
nicht.
Cutie Pie
Ja,
definitely
aber
wanted
sie
to
Weil-
get
noch
that
wissen,
range
dass Top
away from
vielleicht
Vayne
Teleport
and
auf hat.
wasn't in range for that
So sieht's
heal.
aus. Und dass der
Tarek,
6
couldn't catch up
auch
to him,
scheiße
so
ist, wenn
Cutie
er
Pie
reinkommt.
recognizing he was done, turning back into him, but Voyboy off to a huge start. And that's when we've seen Dignitas having the most success when
Voyboy.
Voyboy gets off to a big start. 3-0
CLG
so
gegen wen?
far on Jax as that, really
Fick
strong
dich.
carry. It'll
Fick
be
dich.
interesting to see, how
Gegen die
CLG
Dicks.
deals with that. But we actually see
Gut.
mid,
Gegen
Big Fat
ein
actually
kleines
almost
D.
picking off Scar with the Flash Frost, did have him walled off. The Flash Frost would have sealed the deal. And then actually Jax turning on to St. Vicious, he will be able to get out of there. And then Jax will go back up top and go for that farm.
Hatte Skara
Yeah,
nicht
he's got
in
about
dem
1,000
anderen
gold
Spiel
on him. He's
davor
gonna buy himself something nice.
Olivia gespielt?
Big Fat doing some counter jungling in the meantime. Everyone's a little bit
Der Bastard.
scattered after that last team fight, but now we see Hotshot going back up the top. He did have a little bit of an advantage there because Jax was gone, so he
Das ist jetzt quasi
Stunned
Lower
double
Bracket
lift,
Finale.
getting some
Wer
nice
TSM
harass
hatte
from
gewonnen,
Cutie
glaube
Pie
ich.
and Locust. They're definitely kind of low down there when Karthus' ultimate's back up. We'll see whether or not we see a Mundo gank, a little tower dive, but there's once again a stun onto Locust, and just again, really effective harass from Kog'Maw onto Vayne, has that range, and Janna without the heal.
Dignitas is being super aggressive here bottom lane, but they have the ward coverage to get away with it. Tribush and ward right in front of Dragon, a pink ward at that. So they can just go ahead, push as long as they want, as long as they have the ward coverage. And if Shyvana decides to wander on down, it's like, oh, we're done. We're done for now. We'll just go ahead and back away.
Yeah, and looking at the items right now, I mean, Dignitas 2k gold advantage already. We actually see Double Lift turning onto I'm a Cutie Pie. Shyvana is coming up the lane. There's the whirlwind from Chowster. The flash ultimate, and Double Lift going to be getting some nice damage on the Cutie Pie. He should go down. There's the exhaust. We do have the kill, and now he's rolling after Tarek. Not going to be able to get it, but even so, the kill on Cutie Pie, great damage from Double Lift early on.
And I was saying, I guess the ward coverage, the wards are now on, but we had we had St. Vicious coming in from behind the tower. Not a whole lot you can do about that. So I think it may be in Dignitas' best interest to just maybe not be as aggressive bot lane from here on if they still have a tower by the time they get back.
There's just so much movement speed on this CLG team. Shyvana, definitely an extremely fast jungler. We see Jax jumping on Hotshot for a second top, but Shyvana, coupled with the passive from Janna, definitely has that movement speed. And actually, we see I Will Dominate coming in this top lane. We will have a dive in this top lane. Karthus has his ultimate, and we'll see whether or not he goes
Zu
down.
viel Movement Speed, vor allem von der Nivea.
The wave had to move up, so Domination took a tower shot.
But the Nivea is
Hotshot
a
knows
pretty
that, and
slow
the exhaust
champion.
Going down, who's going to be taking most of the damage? Dominate got the cleaver off, so he's going to be taking a bit, but he's healing up. Scar
Kriegen
now
doch
going into
niemals
the wall,
einen Sugar
not
Dump
going where
Tower.
it needs to be, and Boy will get the rupture.
Zu dritt
Ja.
schon,
Up,
ich behaupten.
Dom!
Yeah, and
Well,
Dominate
Hotshot
is also
immer
very
noch.
low. Scar almost out of mana here. Hotshot trying
Oh,
to take
vielleicht
down
machen wir
Dominate.
einfach der
Won't be able
Hotshot
to
2
get him,
Kills.
but able to get out of that gank.
so weiter.
Das ist
Kill
Hotshot,
is just
lol, lol,
absolutely
lol.
huge.
Ja,
Really
Hotshot
effective
ist
play by
der
Hotshot there.
guter Topspieler.
That rupture just
glaube ich
walked up
nicht.
right up to
Darius
him.
finde ich
Just
natürlich
ate him.
irgendwie ein bisschen besser als
Yeah, and you
Topspieler.
saw him just kiting around constantly around the turret. Dignitas
Besser mit
couldn't
den
really
Ashe
get
als
the
er.
cleave angles that they want. Couldn't chase him down and get the damage that they want, so taking a little bit too much damage. But Anivia walling off
Ja, du
Scar
bist
a
der
little bit,
beste
getting some
Ashe-Topspieler,
nice
den
burst
ich
damage
kenne.
in mid as well.
The teleport going down bot lane.
Und
Hotshot
Nivea
defending
Support ist
that.
auch GG bei
That
dir.
wave gonna be going nice run, but we see Chowster and Double Lift actually up top lane, taking that tower.
And that's really key
Woo,
for CLG.
power
We've
down.
seen all this tournament, they kind of running teams that don't have the best pushing capabilities. When you've got to stand up, Vayne, short range. We do have lots of
Ja,
fire control,
bitte.
but Dignitas has the clearing
Zu
capability.
Leute,
They
die
would
sich
be
den
able to
Stream
kind of
irgendwann
stall out
wahrscheinlich anschauen
those
wollen.
pushes a little bit. So it's really key for CLG
You
to
don't
take this
say.
early advantage, get that map control so they can continue being aggressive. And we'll see, whether or not they group up for this next dragon. It will be up in about a minute now.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well Cutie Pie will be doing against Hotshot here in bot lane. Hotshot's got 3 levels on him, 5 stacks for his feast. Never mind, we got the 6th. Full stacks on the feast. He's got a lot of extra health, extra tanky right now. How much extra health is that? 720 bonus health right now on Cho.
And the key is Hotshot, farming extremely well in that top lane. Jax roaming a little bit, was able to pick up some kills, but a little bit behind
schon
as
übel.
far as Hotshot's concerned.
Hotshot
So
hat,
not as fed as you would normally feel when you have 3
50?
kills,
Nee,
but he's definitely still
40
extremely
Quick
strong
Kills mehr,
and going to be very
41.
strong
Ja,
going into this
und
mid.
2 Gold-Items.
So about we're almost 15 minutes in. We got some more coverage here around Dragon. So it looks like Dignitas Locust is here, just cleaning things up, making sure everything's
Okay, jetzt noch
fine.
eins.
But CLG is now starting to group up. We see Vayne mid looking to defend the pushes. Big Fat's actually roaming up top in the push.
Aber ist trotzdem ziemlich nice. Das heißt, er hat schon ordentlich Gold gefarmt. Die Frage ist, ob der irgendwie auch noch ein bisschen AP geht oder geht der nur tanky?
That cleaver does
Gute Frage.
damage, so it's actually going to be really effective.
Normal mit dem Life, was er jetzt schon hat, da braucht er nicht
Yeah, I
das
think Mundo
viel.
is generally as a champion, he is that really
Life
strong
noch.
HP tank. When you have these magic
Der wird
damage
wahrscheinlich ein
champions
bisschen
like
was
Cho'Gath,
Tankiges
like
mit
Anivia, Mundo can kind of survive through some of
AP
their
one.
bursts, doesn't have to worry so much about the true damage from Feast, but we do see CLG kind of grouping up here, trying to stall this dragon from Dignitas, and we do have Voidboy, his teleport is up, so Dignitas will want to stall for a little bit, see if
Ja,
Voidboy
Sven
can
ist
push
einfach
down that
voll
top
tanky.
tower, and then still be ready to
Right.
engage for a fight.
They're trying to drag.
Okay,
for
sorry,
a
Kutte.
second, I thought they were trying to drag the dragon out of the pit.
Tut mir leid.
All the wards,
Die gehen die
Wow. But
Dignitas
CLG
can't get back to defend their mid tower in time.
Oh, das wird eine
Wonderful
coole
wall
Wall.
from India is actually very low. The stun gang, 3 members of Dignitas will not go ahead and engage on that.
Ja,
That
das war
tower.
schon nicht schlecht.
Quite a bit of damage from that wall. From the
Oh, but we have
not
Hotshot
being
coming
able to get
in,
there.
actually not going to throw off a Rupture, almost seeing an engage there, but Voidboy is
Habt
going to be able
nur
to
ich
get that
so
top
kurze
tower,
Lags
but
teilweise?
once again, you know, aggressive play from
Stampede.
CLG.
Jo.
They do have kind of a health advantage right now, actually with the
Mir ist gerade einfach
turret
nur
heals, they can
Stampede.
sustain extremely well.
Ja, von mir nicht.
So Dignitas is actually just going to come
Bei
right
mir
in for
ist
this
gerade
dragon, and
der
CLG definitely not going to be able to
epischste
defend it.
Teamfight, den ich je
There's
gesehen
just
habe.
too much clearing speed for Dignitas. They will get that dragon for a continued gold
Deluxe.
advantage.
They put the CB down. They had an idea there, but you know it's just a little bit too late. Dignitas 4 members will return to mid lane to push, and Voidboy he's just doing his own thing. How much gold does he have right now? He's got 1,500. So there's gonna be something nice for him. And Dignitas 4 members pushing it down the mid tower. Almost everyone in the game is here except for Voidboy, but he's very accessible. Teleport to a minion, and he can.
Der Shivana kassiert aber auch ganz schön, oder?
Yeah, and with the range on PewDiePie, they can get pop
Yeah.
shots on the towers extremely easily. Scar has that wall to kind of allow them to disassociate fights, allows them to kite some. Anivia can do the exact same thing if Dignitas is
Alter,
trying
bei
to
mir
chase,
ist
but
laggy wie
right
Sau.
now, you know, Dignitas definitely
Schreib mal
comfortable
Stream,
with
weil
just
bei mir
sitting
ist
back, farming
Fluss.
into that later game.
Ja,
Bei mir auch.
genau.
Take this opportunity to
Voll
farm
gut eigentlich.
some of these creeps down the
Außer
bottom
ein bisschen
with that
pixelig,
mid
aber sonst
push.
ganz nice.
2 Dorans, and
Oh.
we're looking towards the Bloodthirster. We're almost there. PewDiePie thinking he's got the returning bot lane as well.
Machen wir zum Megasyn und fast demnächst mal so eine halbe Stunde.
Schau es mir jetzt über den Internet Explorer an.
But Scar is here. He can clear waves pretty effectively to the wall.
Oh
But
my
he's
God.
in just a little bit
Schau dir sich
closer.
erstmal den Explorer an.
CLG does have to back off for the time being.
Ja, ich will schon sagen,
Yeah,
dass
so
wir dann
Dominic
noch
going to
essen.
sit there and, you know, hold off that wall. So we do see
Schnatzen
a
oder
lot of
was?
damage from Double Lift.
Ja.
Oh, wow, almost being able to
wegfreezen,
grab,
ey.
yeah, I'm a PewDiePie there. He was against the wall, but
Top Rail
not
hat
having
auch
good
noch
vision,
auf,
didn't
glaub
want to
ich.
run into Lucas.
War Eddie eigentlich
But
gestern genervt von mir so ein
once again,
bisschen?
it's that, you know, cog
Warum?
build, going for the Zeal into
Ja,
the
weiß ich
fast
nicht.
Phantom
Also ein
Dancer,
bisschen abfallen, ne?
recognizes that, you know, you just want some utility, you want some kiting
Ja,
potential,
wahrscheinlich wer erkannt
for
hat,
those
dass du
fights
der
because you already have the
bist.
damage.
Ja.
Voidboy taking the opportunity to farm some of the jungle creeps as well, while
Ja,
Hotshot's
ganz
doing
normal.
free farming on his own.
Okay.
As
Du
the
bist
Dominic
einfach
will, you know,
Holz.
push. I'll push this wave. You
Holz,
push
ja.
that.
Holz.
And Dominate now wandering over around Baron. We did see some pings
Also zu viel
from
Stein auf der
Dignitas
Map, oder?
around Baron earlier. We got the wall, making sure no one's in the bush. We know CLG is nearby.
Yeah, and I
Well,
actually really
laptops
like
of
that we
land
have a
versus
Shirelias
us.
on Shogat that's, you know, kind of
Deine
usually used
Mutter
as a support
klaut
item, but we
Laptops
will
auf
see a double
Lands.
Shirelias
Wow.
most likely. And because
Karl
CLG
ist der
doesn't have
Beste.
the best initiation, they
Noob,
need
ey,
to
ganz
get
ehrlich.
a wall off
Ja,
or a
das ist
flash
super
frost
lecker Typ.
from Anivia, and that's how they
Gleich
get their
einsperren,
engage.
Mensch.
They
Fucking
want to
ey.
have that speed. Actually, we have the wall off on Skara, so nice damage going off there.
Bei mir ist
Saint
immer
Vicious
noch
not
so
going to go in
scheiße.
for it, seeing I will dominate there, but just
Vielleicht bist du
continuing
einfach
to
auch
pressure
nur
this mid
scheiße.
tower.
Startet mein Internet neu. Irgendwas stimmt
We
überhaupt
got, we
nicht.
got Voidboy still
Mom.
up top, and CLG, I think, are looking to take this tower on this push. You got 3 members. Dominate's the only one defending. It will go down pretty easy. And top lane, we got Voidboy actually in chase with Hotshot.
Dort legt
Has to
man
pop the
absolut
Shirelias
dämliches
to
Team
run
machen.
away.
Absolut
But,
Wodka,
we got
das.
CLG taking the mid tower. All 3 tier 1 towers for
Genau.
Dignitas are down. So good job for CLG keeping that pressure up.
Yeah, Mundo has that early oracles. He did get it around 10 minutes, so wants to make sure that CLG can't take too much map control, because now with all these towers down, we will see a lot more aggressive warding from CLG, but because Mundo has that kind of counter, he knows that they can still safely farm and just kind of sit back.
And Nivea walled by Scar, he's getting those layaways in, brought down to below half, but the wall keeping him in a little bit closer, but the minion wave will be gone in a moment. Cutie Pie actually taking a few free tower hits. Backing off, but once again, the tug of war continues in mid, while we have bot lane dominant and Doublelift facing off, and we're actually going to get the red to Voyboy. Yeah, he can get in there with the leap strike, and proc the red, slow him down just a little bit. That may be what he needs to finish off Hotshot next time they fight.
Well, and the big thing is Jax is champion. He's one of the strongest duelists in the game, so with the teleport on Voyboy, they want to split push him. We do have a ward there from Hotshot. Jax almost able to take it down, but not going to be able to without the pink. We actually have Mundo chasing down Doublelift here. He throws off the ultimate. We'll be able to get some cleaves, but Doublelift getting some effective damage here, and actually Voyboy teleporting in. So now that we have the come in from Hotshot as well, there's the rupture. Doublelift taking a lot of damage from Karthus, is very close to going down, but can they pick up Voyboy first? Doublelift does go down. Locust here as well, so this is going to turn onto CLG. Hotshot definitely going to go down. Very effective play from, we actually have the flash out. Can he get away? He's actually very close to Karthus not coming in, and Voyboy going to try and get that jump. Doesn't have the range. Karthus now cutting off Hotshot. Will be able to get the wall and hold him off here, but Big Fat is here as well. Not going to be able to get in. Can they actually slow down Big Fat? We have the exhaust coming down. So Big Fat, we have the flash from Cutie Pie over that wall. They are chasing after him. St. Vicious onto with Shyvana onto Dignitas Skara. They are going to chase away, but I don't think we're going to kill. But actually, Nivea almost picking him up, and Jax almost grabbing Big Fat. Big Fat will go down to Shyvana, and they are backing off here. But Kog'Maw still with that range damage. We have another Flash Frost from Nivea, but here's the egg. They're going to be able to take it down. So a huge, long fight, but one for Dignitas.
I thought Cutie Pie and Scar were goners for sure in that one. I think the Janna ult from Chaucer may have saved them a little bit. They pushed them a little bit too far away, and that's a very tricky corner. And if you're fighting like in the Wraith Pit, if you have a Janna ult there, you're going to push them over the forest to safety.
Yeah, and we saw that wall from Anivia, usually really great at, disengaging fights. We do have great reset with Anivia's wall and with Janna, but there, Dignitas just coming extremely aggressively. Lots of movement with the flash from Cutie Pie, has the range, with Voyboy continuing to jump, so able to chase them down and pick up a couple of kills.
So we did see the Trinity Force finish on Jax. He's got a nice little bit of everything. Some extra health, some extra mana. We got the proc, we got the slow, we got the crit. We got a whole bunch of other things, and it's a triangle. People love triangles. I love triangles. You love triangles?
Triangles are okay. I'm good with triangles.
I know Freak likes those.
Yeah. But
yes, he does.
Anyway, I was saying earlier, Voyboy has that teleport, is a really strong duelist, so giving him that red allows him to have that control. And actually, we see Dignitas coming in extremely aggressively on this Baron. They have a lot of damage. It's going to go down very quickly. Hotshot was bottom. He doesn't have his teleport up, so CLG trying to stall, but it's going to go down extremely quickly. There's actually the wall off from Big Fat LP. We'll see whether or not they can take this.
Dignitas all in the pit. They got Dragon pretty convincingly. Not a whole lot CLG could have done about that. Now Dominate leading the charge. We are seeing a little bit of a split here. So we see Dominate and Cutie Pie going back to base. Voyboy, Locust, and Scar taking the other long way around. So it looks like they're just going to be content with going back, regrouping, possibly buying a few things, and then I think we might see them pushing it mid, pushing bot, trying to get past the
Dignitas braucht nur ein Game, oder?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely one of the strengths of their team, is their pushing capability. So we will see with this regen whether or not they try and aggressively go for mid or just kind of try and sit back, farm even more to late game. They'll probably be looking to push here, but with Karthus, Kog'Maw, Voyboy on Jax, Mundo, all four of those champions are extremely aggressive at taking Baron. So Dignitas, recognizing the slight advantage and just able to hop in there. And they are actually grouping to see if they can grab this dragon or maybe just invade a little bit. We'll see. Kog definitely has the range to take down towers extremely effectively. Mid tower is
so Dignitas, they have this. They have a pretty healthy wave. Mid tower tier 1 for CLG is halfway done, but we do have Anivia clearing the wave pretty quickly. Scar trying to get some damage in while he can. Tornado going down just to dissuade them just slightly, but we do see St. Vicious. He's a little bit too far out. We got pings going down. Voyboy is in the neighborhood. They know. We have some pings from CLG. And they have an idea, they have an inkling, but Dominate now left to defend the mid, and blue can be passed over to Skara very shortly. There it is.
Yeah, and it should be interesting as the game progresses. Right now, Skara definitely low on mana, needs to constantly be spamming, but Skara with that mana heavy build, as the game progresses, it'll be interesting to see whether or not they pass that blue onto Cog. Definitely benefits from it extremely well, having the cooldown reduction on his W and being able to spam his ultimate for that poke.
Dominate taking care of both of those wards in the bush there from CLG, right next to each other, very convenient. And whenever you have an Oracles, if you have it on your support or your jungler, let them take it. Some extra gold for them helps out immensely in the end.
Oh, but we actually have the wall off. Cutie Pie getting caught with the flash thrust, but no follow-up from CLG. Shyvana is bottom, and Hotshot is, he knows his teleport's almost up, so Voyboy is going to be up as well. Both of them know that they have the split timer there.
Voyboy is trying to take a few free shots on the tower, but St. Vicious not having any of that, but we do have a ping over from CLG. They did CV, Dignitas is red. They know they're grabbing it right now. Cutie Pie is going to have it for himself once we get those team fights. Once he gets the range he needs, any member of CLG, they will be slowed. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to get away and easier for him to get the mortar shots.
Yeah, that's definitely true. He has the range, but Shyvana definitely a strong gap closer for taking down Kog'Maw in those team fights. We'll see, if Kog'Maw gets picked, very quickly the fights could turn to CLG. And just like we saw there when they're trying to push up to the tower, the range in Nivea's wall is long enough that you can pick off that Kog'Maw. But Dignitas once again coming down mid. We should be able to see a tower here, but the great clearing capability from Big Fat is able to stall it just even more, able to clear those creep waves, not allow Dignitas to take advantage.
That Baron buff from Dignitas is actually almost gone. We got about 6 of it left. We still got some board clearing going on, but the push from Dignitas has not been all too successful. Nivea's been mid this entire time, clearing the waves immediately with the ultimate, and Dignitas can't get the damage they need. We got the rupture coming in from Hotshot. Everyone's silence. They're taking the tower shots the entire time, all going on to Skara. Karthus, not the best tanker for a tower, but Cutie Pie getting damage while he can, and I think Baron buff should be gone by the next time they go in on this tower.
But they will be able to get this tier 1 tower, and with some of CLG going back, they should be able to put some pressure on the second one because Shyvana is bottom. We'll see whether or not Jax goes to slow her down. He does have his teleport up now, so he is heading over that way. But actually Dignitas, because the Baron is down, they are very comfortable with sitting back, taking that slight advantage, and then continuing to farm.
Yeah, if you're pushing a tower top or bot, if you're hitting up to the tier 2, this bush right here is actually a very popular hiding spot. So if you have like a skill shot, you just fire, and if you think someone's recalling in there, you can actually get a kill sometimes.
Which spot was that?
The bush right here. That side bush right there, a very popular hiding spot.
Yeah, but Vayne picking up that red buff has a significant amount of damage right now. The stack's sticking on the Bloodthirster since that change, so that does very well with all of her burst damage scaling off of that physical damage. And we do have 3 members of CLG coming in this bottom lane. Voyboy really just too safe right now with the Ghost. He is going to back off there.
So I think now we're waiting a little bit. We're just playing a little bit passive. We're waiting for Baron to come back up. We're waiting for Dragon to come back up, and actually got Voyboy just getting St. Vicious just away a little bit. And we have Dragon Baron should be coming up very soon, and actually got St. Vicious here now having to run away from Voyboy. We got the Sheen proc. The nice little red aura is when he's going to be doing a little bit extra damage with his next attack.
But here you can see the concern for CLG at this point. They don't have really great teamfight initiation without picking someone off with the Nivea. If they can pick someone off, that's huge. But they don't really have the gap closers without those Shirelias. So if we have the kite with Karthus's wall, Dignitas can just reset those fights, kind of ignore it for a little bit, and then we don't have the pushing power for CLG. So right now they kind of just have to have a wait and see mentality, see if they can pick anyone off. We do have a couple of members from Dignitas coming into this bottom lane, going to be surrounding St. Vicious here. Hotshot is here as well. Voyboy taking some damage. St. Vicious going to Dragon Form out of there and going to be safe, but this will be another tower for Dignitas.
Dignitas will swoop right in. We still got enough minis. We're just going to go ahead and grab that real quick. Are they going to push there? We got some pings for Dignitas to retreat back. Just going to go ahead. They've taken their objective. They're going to back off. And now we got 3 towers from both teams down at the moment. It's in terms of defenses, in terms of towers, are pretty even. Gold not too far apart. You know, like 2-3K separating these teams. But Dignitas is ahead in kills. A lot of them. Actually, Jax has been a part of every single one.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely farmed right now, catching up to Hotshot, you know, with the CS, just constantly split pushing and to go along with his kills. So he's going to be a serious threat. It'll be interesting to see, you know, Jax has that capability of shutting down Vayne in the fights with the stun. Vayne does have the cleanse, but even so, you know, if they take down Jax, who's going to be extremely tanky in these fights, then they're still going to have to deal with Karthus. They're going to have to deal with Kog'Maw. So who do you focus as CLG? It's really going to come down to whether or not CLG can burst someone down. They have a lot of burst damage with, you know, Cho'Gath's Feast, with, you know, Vayne. So it'll be key for them to just pick people off once again. In a head-to-head fight, CLG definitely at a disadvantage, though, and even more so as the game progresses.
We also see we got Jax grabbing the Hextech Gunblade. We got a lot of sustain there. We got the life steal. We got the spell vamp. He's going to stay in team fights a little longer, but Scar actually getting caught out by Anivia. We got the wall. We got the stun. And he decides to flash in the middle of it. We cannot get the AoE on anyone else, so everyone from CLG has decided to back up, but we got the ult from Karthus trying to do what he can. Voidboy teleporting in, going out on the same pitch. We got the Janna ult clearing everyone away, and Locust being singled out by CLG, but now double up in the back of the line, and QTPie going way too far forward. Will die as well. We got a little bit extra true damage, and now Locust actually dying as well. Now Voidboy can't get what he needs, and Dominate is left to run away on his own. 1-4-4.
And Vayne, with that cleanse, with the tumble, with the condemn, was just able to keep himself out of range. Very surprising, you know, Dignitas not able to get in on him, but being able to pick off Karthus very early turned it for him. QTPie getting his, you know, nice damage for a while there, so it looked like he'd be fine, but the great control that Anivia brings, they have those disables up front. You can see the exhaust coming off with Shyvana onto QTPie, and now we do have a Baron for CLG, and it will almost certainly go to them. Dignitas almost no chance
steal this with the cleaver, for the love of God, steal this with the cleaver. To be hilarious now. If you sold out with a cleaver, I would have been so good, but CLG, they've secured a Baron for themselves, and you know what, Chaucer came back just in time.
And so now with that Baron buff, you know, we'll see what CLG does with it. They will want to try and, you know, go for map control. It will still be difficult for them to push down towers. It depends on how kind of ballsy they're feeling, whether or not they think they can just run right up to the towers and just tank them with Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath is extremely tanky, though, so that will be interesting to see, you know, whether he just decides to run up and tank it for him, because then they do have enough damage to burst it down. But I think putting themselves in that short melee range for Karthus to, you know, have that great wall set up, have that AoE damage, might be kind of tricky for them. So CLG definitely wants to take Dragon, see if they can take some buffs. Blue buff should be up shortly for Dignitas, I believe. Red buff, Cog was able to get it, but we'll see whether or not they have a push. Actually, Dignitas going back, so CLG will be able to take down this mid tower.
CLG, we have the minion wave that we need, and if we need to tank out a tower straight out, Hotshot GG, he's got a fair amount of health on him. He's pretty big, he's pretty huge. He's died twice, so those stacks could be sticking up at 6 for the time being, and they have Baron buff. They have all the advantage they need with a minion wave to just go ahead and pressure down these towers. Dignitas has no choice but to defend against
what the fuck is this dritte item from
more objectives. We may see them wandering down, possibly going to take the dragon, but I think we're actually going to go straight out for this bot tower.
And you also have to consider, the more and more I'm seeing what CLG is doing, they're really playing this matchup extremely effectively. We have 2 random entombments, so that slow is really going to shut down a lot of Cog's damage. And then Hotshot, knowing he's already tanky, doesn't want them just ignoring him, goes with actually a blue pot and then the wit's end. So he's going to have a lot of anti-carry kind of harass damage, able to get up in Cog's face. If Cog is kind of threatened, not able to deal that damage, then, you know, very quickly we could see Vayne clearing up the fight.
We got the mini wave pushing, but it has been cleared. CLG, we got the wall, trapping a few members of Dignitas in tower 350.
Next
to mini wave, we should get the 1, 2, 3 shots we need to take down that tower. Clearing the wave quite quickly. Will Dignitas decide to back off? They will. They will let that tier 2 tower fall, while keeping CLG from getting any further in, but this wave continues to push. Are they going to switch places? Yes, they are. They're going to go ahead and try their hand at mid once again.
Yeah, and those Anivia walls so well placed this entire game. being able to catch off Karthus and Cog. I mean, those are, you know, their targets. So not going in for the kills, recognize, hey, they've got the Baron, they don't want to be too aggressive here, but able to wear Dignitas down to the point where they can't defend this, and so as a result, a couple of towers going down for CLG.
Double left, just go ahead, plug away at this tower. Dignitas can't even get back there in time to defend. Dane's just pretty much on her own, taking that one out. And the wave continues to push Dignitas still on the defensive. Baron buff, we got about 75% done. We still got a little bit of time. We could take this tower with it as well. But yeah, CLG, if they realize something's not working immediately, it's like, hey, we've lost our wave. Let's relocate. Let's switch places. Let's keep Dignitas on their toes. Keep them moving.
Yeah, and because, you know, Voyboy, he is pretty, you know, beefy right now. A lot of his damage is going to be magic damage. He seems like a physical carry, but he does deal magic damage. Karthus has a lot of magic damage right now, so we do have, you know, the Negatron Cloak on Vayne. We'll be able to be a little bit upfront since they know that, you know, they're going to have to deal with that damage because Vayne is such short range. But CLG able to take a couple of towers. We'll see whether or not we start a split push. I think Jax is just a little bit too strong at shutting down Cho'Gath's split push at this point. They don't want him to kind of duel off. But, you know, CLG once again taking this dragon, able to take control as far as gold for the game.
Pings going down from CLG to the mid tower, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be the next objective from CLG. The Baron buff has expired. Baron should be respawning in a few minutes. And if we don't see CLG decide to pressure down any more towers, that should be where our next big fight is. Big Fat Anivia once again so good at clearing those minion waves. We're going to see that pushing up. And Dignitas, despite the fact that the Baron is up, they're still playing it pretty defensive. They want to make sure they have vision. They want to know where CLG is, because right now they do not.
Yeah, and it's actually interesting. Once again, you know, just CLG wants to be unkillable in these fights. They want to be able to focus people down. They do have great single target, you know, kind of damage with Vayne, with Cho'Gath's burst, with Anivia's burst. And so Janna going with the Aegis, going with the Iron Solari, you'll be able to prevent some of that damage from Dignitas, allow CLG to just become too tanky for Dignitas to deal with. And if they can, you know, disrupt Cog's kind of, I don't know, rhythm, then very quickly those fights turn to CLG.
Ich denke mal, das von der Nide wird schon zu näher sein. Alles andere gibt keinen Sinn.
CLG not going to be able to do a whole lot with this. Also, I took a quick look at Voyboy's items. It looks like he's going to be doing the Guardian's Angel next. Try and get himself a little bit extra life.
Gute Fungus, das wichtigste Item.
He gets in there, you know, you get the leap strike. You're going to be in the middle of all these fights. You're going to be a prime target, and they know Jax is capable of ridiculous amounts of damage. So he knows he's going to be focused later on down the line.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely wants to be extremely aggressive and go after Vayne, so he needs that survivability.
Double walls going down, Skara. Skara, he knows he wants to see if he can't trap, get the slow off anyone on the CLG while they're messing around in their jungle. I think that's right here in the bush. Both teams contesting here over red buff, and Voyboy actually getting a little bit way too far out, and he does not have the time to get back to the rest of the team. And Skara now also away from the rest of Dignitas. Can we get a little bit more dominant? Cannot get away either. St. Vicious cleaning up. Locust and Cutie will he be able to back out? No, he will not.
Wow, so St. Vicious just kind of 3v1'd some of Dignitas. You saw Cutie Pie trying to get that red buff sent from Saint, came up a little bit too close, so Shyvana just completely separating the team. It's one of the strengths of Shyvana, but I was so surprised by how long Saint was able to stick around. You know, Cog not able to deal enough damage, so an inhibitor going down for Dignitas, and I don't know, with that advantage, they can definitely, you know, push separate lanes. They don't have to worry about the fact that they don't about stalling under the turrets anymore, like we saw a second ago, because they were able to pick off Dignitas in their jungle.
We may have this huge minion wave that might actually take out this tier 2 tower here, but Dignitas is now coming back up. We actually got teleport in. Where's he going? Voyboy actually trying to get in the jungle, but Chowster saw, put the tornado down, dissuade him just a little bit, but actually will Voyboy find him? He's in the bush, he's recalling, we'll be able to get him. No, Chowster leaves. Leap strike going down. Can we get the stun? Yes, we can. Chowster, what options do you have? You can flash away. We got the tornado. Voyboy still in pursuit. Wants to get that kill, wants that oracles.
Oh gut, kommt sogar weg.
Back it out.
Yeah, Chaucer's definitely going to be fine there, and it goes, you know, to CLG's strength that they are very strong in the jungle when you have those walls. And actually, we see Cho'Gath and St. Vicious here a little bit caught out, but they're tanky enough. They have the rest of their team there. It's not that big of a deal. Dignitas definitely doesn't really want to engage on those champions. But when CLG can fight in the jungle, they can just wall off, you know, half of Dignitas. And those walls, you know, a little bit more effective than I expected, but just, you know, really great control from Anivia the entire game.
And Nivea doing quite a bit of work. 1, 1, and 9. All those assists doing it pretty well. We also got the Zonias. We got a Void Staff. Magic Resist on
Kratos
Dignitas.
hat hier
So
auch
I'm
einen
trying to
Fungus
see,
gebunkert
we
seit
got
3
these
Jahren.
We got
Ich dachte, den braucht er bestimmt noch.
You also got the Rod of Ages as well.
Das ist der
Get some
Cooling, der
extra
Cooldown Reduction.
AP on the bird. How much AP to be
Cool
precise?
Reduction, Navi.
255.
Fungus.
Yeah, and right now,
komische
with the
Pilze,
oracles
oder?
on Chauster, CLG can kind of bait Dignitas into a fight. Then we will have the Anivia wall to cut off the entrances to the river. So they are actually just going for it extremely aggressively. They don't have vision currently with Dignitas. We'll see, you know, what Dignitas going to do here, whether he can get an effective wall off, but they are actually going to turn into him. There's the Shirelius hot shot, going to throw off the Rupture, not actually picking anyone off. The Anivia wall will separate the team, but not able to grab anyone, so Dominate will be safe there, and CLG going right back to Baron.
Not exactly the greatest Anivia wall in the world, but Dignitas now, they're going in, and Voidboy goes straight for the backline hotshot. Out in front, will be falling first, but Voidboy, we have the GA now, he's going to be coming back to life. St. Vicious being focused by 3 members of Dignitas. Dominate falling, and Jax is not going to be able to live through that one, but Dignitas, we only have 2 members left running from CLG with Baron buff, trying to get a few waste as they're leaving, but I'm not sure if they'll be able to get away. Locust actually being focused down by double lift, and pot shots will manage to kill him. Skara has to retreat towards enemy base. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to defend.
No, that's almost certainly going to be a GG for CLG, and what we saw there was St. Vicious just way too tanky with that Ronin Zoman, has the slow on Kog'Maw's attack speed with the armor. Just incredible job by Saint being able to 3v1 them, separate them in the fight, and CLG going to take game number 1 with this push on the Nexus. We'll see how Dignitas returns, but awesome job by CLG. We see the Monsoon throwing off Skara there, but GG for game 1.
Game number 1, CLG takes it, GG!
Der beste Kumpel vom Gegner.
Gleich nach dem.
So I think after that display, you can expect a Vayne ban.
Sorry.
I would almost more so expect an Anivia ban. I you know, just really surprised. Shyvana once again now 8-0 in